This 12-year-old patient was referred to me for endodontic treatment of tooth number 31. Tooth number 31, that's 32 right there, the wisdom tooth. Her orthodontist tried to force erupt the tooth a little bit so we can go ahead and do the RCT, but it was still not fully erupted. So I had a concern with probably not being able to put my rubber dam clamp over it. I mean, it was just almost flush with gingiva, but we were able to do it today. So as you can see, large decay into the pulp, and the patient had all the signs and symptoms of irreversible pulpitis. You can see the apices are wide open as well. They're not fully formed and wide open. This is a permanent tooth, but still hasn't had a chance to fully mature. So I knew that we were going to have to use MTA and do apexification here. The patient being 12 years old, that meant that her opening was this wide. And of course, this is the very last tooth on the lower right. So, and on top of that, now we had to use MTA. So can you imagine putting MTA in tooth number 31, the very last tooth on the lower right side? A 12-year-old patient with opening this much. All right. And here it is. Take a look here. This tooth had 3 mesial canals and 1 distal canal. And the apical diameter of the mesial canals were 60, and the apical diameter of the distal canal was 80. So I went ahead and obturated all 4 canals with MTA. MTA here, MTA here, MTA here, and of course MTA here, all the way to the top. And then I went ahead and, while the patient was IV sedated, we had to sedate her, of course. While the patient was IV sedated and I had a good rubber dam seal, I went ahead and placed a permanent buildup as well, because I know if this patient went to her dentist, very likely a rubber dam would not be used. And even if they tried to use a rubber dam, they very likely could not do it, because putting a clamp on a tooth that is almost flush with gingiva, rubber dam clamp on a tooth like that is very tricky. But you just make it easy. We make it look easy because we do this, day in, day out, all the time. So it's very easy for us. But as you can see, everything went beautifully. She tolerated IV sedation very well. This took me about an hour. The root canal with MTA, of course, and build up, and patient is done. We saved another tooth. When the apex is wide open, we take, because the apex locator won't work when the apical area is very large, such as this case, so we need to take working length x-rays. So